Yo! 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 Good to see you all. Good to see you all. It's got a little bit of a groove to it. Oh no. Oh no. Where'd my light go? Had your first Factor meal today. It was pretty good. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you like it. I had one today as well. How's everybody doing? Good to see you all. What's up? What's up? It's Marketing Monday, baby. Got a big one. Got an action-packed Marketing Monday today. Currently suffering through computer science homework. Might switch my major to marketing if Big A convinces me tonight. Don't make your life decisions based off of... I'm going to make a joke about Jeff Bezos being shirtless in like 20 minutes. Don't change your life based on that. That... How's everybody doing? How's the Monday? Solid? Bad? Good? I want to hear it. I want to know. The new Elden Ring song is what? Pay the music one? Pay the musician one? Yeah, it's amazing. Carolina, come. Thank you for the prime. Strange one. Thank you for the 4 months. Shine your light on me. Thank you for the 9 months. K Gun 7s. No, K Guns. Thank you for the 6. Fatter Chance. Thank you for the 14. Path of Light. Thank you for the prime. Crazy Hippo. Thank you for the 6 months. Pee Poop Pee Pee Poo Poo. Thank you for the 9 months. Who dat? Thank you for the massive raid. Wow. Go Twins. Thank you for the what was Who dat doing? Watching a movie? Did you hear about Will Smith slapping someone? It's a pretty underground story. I'm trying to spread the news. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate that I have the journalists who go, who make the in-depth excursions into danger zones to find the hottest stories. Fortnite Monday, how'd you do? Who won? I was working today. I got no idea what's going on Fortnite Monday. Wash, Stands, and Lud got rolled by XQC. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Team Yeti got 5th? Hey, Drake's for Team Yeti. Half this website runs on Yeti. I swear to God. Stan's team got last? That's actually kind of funny. You know what? Better last than like second to last, because then no one cares. But last is kind of cool. It's almost like Sigma, you know? I didn't give a shit about this event. We go dead last. Are you a manual or automatic kind of guy? I'm actually a little bit old school. Does anybody else do this? I don't know if any of you guys are old school like me. What I'll do is I'll smash my feet through the floor and run the car Flintstone style. And that's how I stay fit and get and get around. I don't know if anybody else does that. Like, it just feels like a better way to get exercise, you know? It's just how I did it growing up, you know? So I figure I might as well keep doing it. Too hard on my knees nowadays. Especially with gas being so expensive. Oh, that's going to be relevant later. Yeah, you know what? You actually save a lot of money on gas when you're yabba dabba doing down the fucking highway. When you're on the 405 fucking... You're saving money every step. Sold my dog for tickets to this Marketing Monday. Hopefully it's worth it. You sold your dog for tickets to this Marketing Monday. An event that sells no tickets. It's in fact a free online digital event. Interesting. Smart. Forward thinking. Forward thinking. I like that. You know, you got to invest in success. You got to invest in success. You got to grow your income if you want the outcome. None of us would be here without come. You know what I'm saying? Put that together. Holy shit. How's everybody doing? Okay, we'll start here in just a minute. I actually have a lot today. I think the wins and fails are stacked. The Marketing Monday shouldn't take too long, but I think it's very interesting. It's an interesting Marketing Monday, and I like that. As opposed to the rest of them, which are never interesting. That's usually my criteria. What kind of eyelash extensions do you use? Oh, you know. I just use the eyelash extensions, the lipstick, the fucking the wig. All this also baked out of my mind. All the stuff you guys say constantly about my appearance every time I go on stream. Glizzy hands. You know, the whole thing. The whole thing. The forehead's real. Oh, yeah, the forehead's real. It is good to see you all. I'll be having a good start to your week. I will start here in just probably about 5-10. You know, I just want to let everybody filter in, see how everybody's doing, get a vibe check, get a good rapport going, play the song. Mr. Zoom, thank you for the 2 months. Figured Papa Bezos might still need some cash for his bridge fund. You can have some too. Thank you. You know what's the best part about subscribing to anybody on Twitch is that at least half the money goes to Jeff. And that's sweet, you know? It feels like it's a win-win. It's like you can support a creator that you like, but then also help a billionaire get a little bit richer. And I think that's what we all want to do. It's like a dual purpose. It's like when you buy Tom's shoes and they donate to children or whatever. It's like, okay, but can I, instead of donating to children, help a rich old white billionaire? You know? Because, like, what are children going to do? Didn't Bezos just make a company to research being immortal? God willing. God willing. A world without Jeff, I don't even want to stomach it. Skip the middleman, just donate to Bezos. He's got a sick OnlyFans you're going to see later. Toto Dallas, thank you for 6 months. Mandalore, thank you for 7 months. Cincy Beer Cat, thank you for the Prime. Rapapa Franku, thank you for the 7 months. Chidown, thank you for the 4. Path of Light, thank you for the gifted. What's the song called? God's Plan, by an underground artist named Drake.
Let's go.
What's up, marketing man? I got a 5-gum ad and a crypto ad. Thanks, man. You don't have to update me. I know this is Marketing Monday. I know that I talk about marketing. You don't have to tell me every time you get an ad. That doesn't help me or you. There's nothing I can do with that. There's no information that I can... What headphones do you use? Obviously, I use Raycon headphones as a diehard sponsor for my phone. And then for these, I don't know. This is like I bought this on Amazon for $2. Did you already do the Guessing 2022 stream? What is the Guessing 2022? What does that mean? Stallsy, thank you for the 3 months. Mamelo, thank you for the 15. What else we got? Vaporized, MCB, thank you for the Prime. Firelight TV, thank you for the 6 months. Droner, BTB. All right, so I think, let me get my song ready here. Actually, you know what we should do? We should bring back the classic. We should actually bring back the fucking classic song. The, do I still even have it? The King Delroy. And, oh, you got the Enron hat? People started to get them. I got a bunch of tweets today. Hope you guys enjoyed the new black Enron hat. Scrimpin', thank you for the Prime. King Delroy. Let's see if we got it. Today's Marketing Monday. Let's go into the wins and fails, boys. I have a big topic today. Oh, bars. That is the win of the week.
Atrioc. You just tuned into Marketing Mondays. You just tuned into Marketing Mondays. You just tuned into Marketing Mondays. You just tuned into it.
Yeah, you know you like it. That's why you're here to see which one of these companies will be marked as tier. Yeah, you've been waiting all week long. It's time to tune in. And since you're listening right now, make sure to invite some friends.
Mondays, you just tuned into Marketing Mondays. You just tuned into Marketing Mondays.
It's crazy how hard that goes. The whole story behind that is fucking crazy. It is crazy that we just found a 12-view AutoZone jingle, and now King Delroy might play at my goddamn wedding and made me a whole Marketing Monday insane song. It's crazy. The world's crazy. The internet's crazy. Welcome to Marketing Monday. Today we're going to have some wins and fails. Actually, kind of a stacked wins and fails. And then we're going to jump in today's topic. I'll just tell you ahead of time. Today's topic is about the future. It is about things that are going to change the world. And perhaps your very lives. We'll find out about that in just a second, though. Let's get into the wins and fails. Let's see what I got. Wins and fails, wins and fails, wins and fails. Okay, wins and fails. Let's talk about who is taking W's and who is taking L's this week in marketing. I will start off with somebody who is contractually not taking any L's. That is part of their contract to never be associated with an L. And that, of course, is LeBron James. Thank you to KOT4Q on Twitter, who did some investigative research into the Lakers' social media. I'll let him take it away.
The Lakers just lost to the Pelicans. And NBA social media teams have to make a graphic to tell the rest of the fans if they won or lost. And it's the same across all 30 organizations. Every team does it. But I was looking at the Lakers' final tweet, And I saw this one and it was interesting. Told y'all they not putting LeBron's picture in an L final score tweet. I wonder if he got that in his contract, LMAO. And I saw that and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that research. I'm going to go look at every single final score tweet from the Lakers social media team and try to figure out if LeBron James has ever been used as the picture of a loss. So I went to their tweets and I strolled. I strolled from today all the way into the season opener against the Golden State Warriors. And what I found out was the Lakers have lost 43 games this season. And LeBron James has not been used on a loss graphic.
Ever! Not one!
Not one time. So here's a stat breakdown for the losses. Malik Monk has been used 10 out of the 43 losses.
Bro, this is so dirty to Malik Monk. Malik Monk been averaging like 15 points a game. No injuries. Hasn't missed a game since Christmas. They're trying to re-sign him, and they're putting him in every goddamn L graphic. It's crazy.
He killing everybody. And what you'll realize is Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook have not been used on a losing graphic yet. And I know the next question. What about the winning graphics? I'm already ahead of you. When it comes to the wins, LeBron James and Russell Westbrook is killing the competition. Also, Anthony Davis was only used for one winning graphic. I know bro been injured a bunch, but just one? So yeah, I just spent the last hour of my life doing this research, but I got no regrets.
What a funny find, dude. I can't believe it. You'd think the leader of the team, might take some responsibility, step forward, but it looks like he's contractually unable to be featured in a losing graphic. Which is, wow, that's crazy how they did Monk. That's an L, though. That's an L for the Lakers, but let's flip it back to a win and give a big win for big promises. If there's one thing gamers love, and I think you guys will agree with me, I think you guys will agree with me. If there's one thing we love, it's promises. We don't care if they're true. We don't really care. We just want you to tell us. Tell us what we want to hear. And that's why I want to give a big shout out. A big, warm shout out to our favorite promisers in the gaming space. CD Projekt Red, who promised from their game director on The Witcher 4 that there will be no crunch. There will be no crunch. And you know what? If I think of anyone in the whole gaming world that I could trust with that, it is almost certainly CD Projekt. Oh, they did the exact same thing for Cyberpunk. And then right before the game came out, they started mandating a 6-day work week. And they had to work overtime for a year. And they had the exact same promise last time. Ah, shit. Fuck. Fuck. You know what, though? It doesn't even matter because look at this. I was thinking, isn't this a bad thing? Shouldn't we kind of hold them accountable? Isn't this kind of weird? They're just promising it and they're probably going to walk it back. But then I saw this comment by Tenacious Warden who said, we don't care about crunch. We don't want another Cyberpunk nightmare. Crunch away if it means a complete game in a reasonable amount of time. Shout outs to Tenacious Warden here, dude. Slime's fucking cousin is out here like, you know what? We don't care. Crunch away, dude. Skip Christmas. I just want the goddamn game. You know what's funny? Listen, don't go to this guy's account or anything. I'm being serious. It's just leave everybody alone. I just brought it up because it's funny. But his profile is all like Wordle. It's like Wordle, the Lord, and talking about how developers should crunch. He's such an interesting, just an interesting character. I didn't really know what to make of him. I really didn't know what to make of him, but you find all types there on Twitter. God, games, and God, games, and getting developers to crunch. The 3 G's of life. Let me tell you, the 3 G's. So, yeah, big win for the promises coming out of CDPR. I trust them through and through. Speaking of crunch, we'll talk about Jeff Bezos in more depth later. He's part of today's presentation, the full Marketing Monday topic, which I will get to. But we can't skip the wins and fails without giving a W to the best in the business. Jeff Bezos and Amazon, baby. Okay? Now, I'll show him shirtless later. But for now, let's give him a huge hand for putting up some LeBron numbers with this new stat.
So the Lakers just lost.
Not that stat. This new stat. Number 1 in the business, baby. Most injuries per employee. 4 times higher than other warehouses in America. If you want, let me see. If you want back injuries, strains, sprains, repetitive stress injuries, and more, you can get them 4 times as likely at an Amazon warehouse. Number 1 by a mile. Let's go! Let's go, baby! And like 8 times more likely than an average private business, but 4 times as likely as other warehouses, which means they aren't just beating the average mom and pop shop, but they're beating even other corporate warehouses to number of injuries per employee, and that is awesome. You can't beat these are I mean, everyone else is putting up rookie numbers, and Bezos out here working people literally to the bone, and you just have to give him a dub for that. Muscle and joint injuries. Wow, just number 1 across the board, goated in every stat. MVP numbers, really. You're talking about all-time capitalists? Jeff Bezos is trying to get in the GOAT discussion. Okay, wait. I want to, I always like to temper a more serious one with a little more of a jokey one. And so I'll drop in another dub right here. Okay? Because I found this. I look at, marketing case studies. I like to look at commercials from the past, present, and future. See if there's anything I can learn. See if there's anything funny that happened. And I found one recently about a McDonald's mascot. Not the one you're thinking of, the moon one that we talked about, Mac Tonight. No, this is a different one. This is Uncle O'Grimacy. Now, you guys weren't around for Uncle O'Grimacy, but he was released to promote the Shamrock Shake. And his lore was that he was a cousin of Grimace who would come from Ireland to deliver all the little boys and girls of McDonald's land a Shamrock Shake around St. Patrick's Day. And it actually worked. Sales did quite well. And then, unfortunately, the guy playing him went to Philly in the costume and said that he supported the IRA and that British soldiers were better dead than alive. So they had to phase him out. That probably boosted sales in Ireland, though. I got to be honest with you. Probably not the rest of the world. Well, that probably boosted sales big in Ireland. So, I don't know. You categorize that one as a win or fail. I got a lot of UK frogs in here, So you guys make up your own mind on wins and fails for that one. Speaking of guys that keep taking W's. Whew, I mean, there's some guys out there that just can't miss. LeBron James has it in his contract, can't take an L. But you know who doesn't need a contract to keep taking dubs? Say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Kim Jong-un. That's right. Correct. Kim Jong-un. The leader of North Korea, of course, always taking dubs. I knew you guys were going to say it, and we all said it together in solidarity. Kim Jong-un, the dude has 100 plus hole-in-ones in golf. So he claims, and why would he lie? Okay? He canonically, in North Korea, invented the hamburger. That's awesome. We all owe him a debt. And apparently, his body never needs to use a toilet because it apparently is quote-unquote supernatural and just gets rid of its waste. Now, that's 3 dubs, but he's never had a marketing dub, okay? He's never had a marketing dub until now, and that is why I want to show you a new ad that went up in North Korea for their country's first missile launch. This is a real ad. Music is part of it. The music is part of it. I mean, just dripped. Dripped to the 9. Look at this. Look at the glasses. The slick back hair. The editing.
정보가 울렸습니다.
Oh! Did Quack edit this? It would have been better if Quack edited it. Yeah, the part where he... whips off the glasses, looks to camera, and gives the nod. Like he's fucking Tom Cruise in Top Gun, dude. And he's the leader of a country with missiles. It's, whoo! I love 2022. I love 2022. And you're going to be saying that a lot more today because we're going to get into a lot of great trends showing what a great time we live in. Woo! Anyway, shouts to Kim Jong-un taking dubs left and right. How can you not give him the credit that's due? Okay. Little serious. I was a little jokey. Let's get a little serious. I want to give what I think might be the biggest fail, the biggest actual literal fail I've ever given on Marketing Monday Wins and Fails. It is a news article that came out today that expressed something that I've been talking about quite a number of times. It hit the number 1 on our all of Reddit, and essentially it is about how the PPP loans that were given out at the start of COVID, the hundreds of billions of dollars, a vast amount of them, hundreds of billions of them went to fraud, basically just to get fraudsters to buy mansions and cars and nothing of value. I'm going to watch a little bit of the clip here.
Called the fleecing of America. Over the last 2 years, the federal government approved a historic $5 trillion in pandemic assistance for struggling Americans, small businesses, and healthcare providers. But now investigators say hundreds of billions have been lost to fraud.
This $3.5 million Florida mansion seized by the IRS was bought with taxpayer dollars that were supposed to rescue American jobs and small businesses. Instead, according to law enforcement, it funded a swim-up bar and a horse stable. The buyer got $7 million from the federal government, allegedly claiming he had 400 employees. According to prosecutors, he had none.
It's an easy mistake to make.
Surprised by how
easy mistake to make.
Fraudsters moved in on this money?
Unfortunately, not really.
Michael Horowitz is the top cop overseeing the effort to make sure the $5 trillion in taxpayer dollars went to the right place. This is his first interview in his role as the head of the Pandemic Response Accountability Committee.
When the Small Business Administration, in sending that money out, basically said to people, apply and sign and tell us that you're really entitled to the money. And of course, for fraudsters, that's an invitation.
The fraudsters are bold, buying luxury cars, flights on private jets, mansions, like this Los Angeles couple who led a massive $20 million fraud ring using fake IDs to apply for loans for fake businesses. They texted about the cash that was available. You need to apply, $10K guaranteed. They don't check for blank. It's all automated. Days later, texting, they got the money. I did 7 applications last night, and 4 of them got email that it's funded.
So we don't need to watch the whole thing, but anyway, a vast majority of this this money went to fraud. But what I want to talk about is the larger problem, which is that even the money that didn't technically go to fraudulent, pure fraud people that just didn't have employees at all, went to corporations that didn't deserve it. Companies like Potbelly and Applebee's and big corporations that weren't small businesses at all basically took the money, didn't save any jobs with it, and pocketed it. Many companies that were supposed to keep employees on with the money took the money and then fired the employees anyway. There's no oversight. There was no checking. It's just hundreds of billions of dollars printed and sent to the wrong people that had no help. And then they blame things like the paychecks to every person. The $1,200 or $1,400 paychecks that everyone got is a drop in the bucket compared to the amount of incorrect and fraudulent money that went to businesses that didn't deserve it from the PPP loans. Complete lack of oversight. Now, listen, this is not like a political segment. I like to talk about the economics of it more than I do like to talk about whatever one person was in office. And I think this has been a huge problem in the past two administrations, to be honest, because there was a major PPP loan, like $800 billion under Trump, and then another like $900 billion one under Biden. And they both have had massive amounts of fraud and basically have existed to benefit either the following three groups: the extremely wealthy, the well-connected, and fraudsters. And sometimes people that are in the middle of all three. And they have not benefited the average person very much at all. There are very, very few cases. There are cases that exist of small businesses that got the loan, kept on some employees, and were able to stay afloat. But in general, the vast majority of this money went to the wrong people. And it might seem like this doesn't matter, right? It's money that's printed out of thin air. But our current inflation crisis that we're experiencing, the higher gas prices, the higher rent prices, the higher medical care prices, the rapid inflation of everything you'd like to buy or invest in for your future, is primarily due to this. This is because like 80% of all of our outstanding currency was printed in the past like 4 years. And so it makes me kind of sick. It makes me kind of mad. It makes me kind of angry. And I want to explain a little bit of why it's so bad that it goes to these people specifically. And it's an effect that I'm not going to, this is not an economics class. I'm not going to go deeply into it. But it's called the Cantillon effect. It's named after this French guy that noticed that when gold was created in France, I don't remember what century exactly it was in, whoever is closest to those in power when new money is printed that causes inflation, benefits extremely. Because what happens is, let's say there's only $1 million in existence and they print 4 million more. The people that get that money first get to buy everything before inflation takes hold. That's what the Cantillon effect means. And so when a bunch of money is printed at the beginning of COVID and it goes primarily to fraudsters and rich people, they get to buy the houses, they get to buy the stock, they get to buy the real estate, they get to buy the cars. And then as the price of everything rapidly increases, they get all that price appreciation. And then by the time they send out checks to the regular person or the money trickles down, everything's too expensive to afford anyway, and your savings are beginning to inflate away. And then when all the money gets inflated away, who's left with the hard assets? The people that were close to the government and the well-connected. So I think we should all be a little bit angry about this. I think it's really, really frustrating. And I think, there's a real anger, I think, among people that are getting screwed by this. And I would like them to know that the root cause of it comes back to this stuff. And I know that a lot of things get blamed. I know that blame gets shifted a lot and people get distracted by whatever the latest outrage is. But in general, it is majority wealthy, well-connected people basically using the government as a prop to fleece average people. And I think that should be your main focus if you're trying to focus your outrage. I'm not saying there's an easy solution. I'm not saying there's anything you can do. I just want that to be something that I stand for. And the real world impacts of it are quite apparent. So as gas prices rise, I want to give one final L to a person who I consider one of the closest I've found to like a real world one of Satan's demons. Okay. And if I had to pick of all the jobs in the world, who was most likely to be one of the real world Satan's demons, it of course would be a mid-level executive at Applebee's. Because this email got leaked that said why gas price increases is good for hiring. And it basically said the advantage for us is that people will be desperate. People that need to pay for gas as it rises and as the there's no more checks, there's no more government assistance or relief, will be forced to come work at our shitty company for low wages. Be great at what matters is his fucking email signature. Most of our employee base, and particularly employee base, live paycheck to paycheck. Any increase in gas prices cuts in their disposable income. As inflation continues to climb and gas prices go up, that means more hours employees will need to work to maintain their current level of living. We're no longer competing with the government when it comes to idling. Stimulus money is no more. Supplemental employment is no more. That benefits us as prices rise. Simply we'll have less money to spend. It will force people back into the workforce. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Now, I'm not sure he's 100% correct. In fact, while inflation has been extremely negative for the average worker, certain market forces lately have benefited the worker. There's been an increase in labor union participation. People are generally getting paid more. Wages are going up. I'm not sure Applebee's will thrive in this environment, but the fact that he sees inflation and rising gas prices and people having less money as a huge positive is just so sick. It's just so nasty. And so I wanted to particularly shout out this guy. I'm even going to name him. This guy's name, they cut it out. Wayne. I don't know his last name, but Wayne. Applebee's also applied for small business loans from PPP. Despite being a massive business, they applied for small businesses in order to keep on their employees and did not keep on the employees they promised to keep. So Wayne P, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, bro. And your whole corporation, bro. Anyway, that's my last L. Sorry, it got a little serious at the end, but those two things made me mad today, and I wanted to include them. Thankfully, there's some humor ahead. We're going to get into the main Wayne Pankrats. His name's Pankrats? Rats? Oh my God, it couldn't be more appropriate if it tried. Let's get to the actual topic of today. And some of this stuff is a little scary. Some of this stuff is negative, but some of it's actually really interesting and positive. And so I'm going to talk to you mostly about where I think some things in the world are heading. And I'll explain it right after this, but you're going to have to do me a solid. You're going to have to do me a favor. You're going to have to tag yourself. Welcome to Marketing Monday. Today's topic, 20 or so trends that are changing the world right now. Okay? Let's start off by talking about everybody's favorite Lex Luthor impersonator, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos. And why do I bring him up? It is not to praise him. It is to talk about a story that is often told about Jeff Bezos' early days before he founded Amazon. And that will launch me in the rest of the discussion. So Jeff Bezos, back on the left here before he became this guy, was a 30-year-old Wall Street employee who looked like this. And just a regular guy making low six figures, obviously doing quite well for himself, but very privileged. But at the end of the day, he wasn't a billionaire. He wasn't a millionaire. He wasn't extremely well connected. He had a document land on his desk during his time working on Wall Street. And the document said the following. He was on a hedge fund, D.E. Shaw. And he came across the fact that the World Wide Web was growing at 2,300% a year. Anything growing that fast is going to be big. I decided to come up with a business idea where the internet could grow around it. Basically, he saw basically a massive tidal wave coming and decided to surf it. And I've mentioned this before in some of my advice streams. Basically, in life, almost everybody kind of averages out to around a middle level of performance. And if you are a 65, 75 performer out of 100, but you're in an industry that's growing, if you have a wind behind you instead of against you, you're going to see a lot of easier paths. Things are going to do better. If you are, let's say an average idiot who got into computer science a few years ago, you're probably going to do better than someone who got into being a travel agent. You understand? Even though they're both working about the same difficulty, the industry they got in is bigger than any one person. Your personal performance only matters as part of the equation, and a lot more of it is larger trends. So being on a good trend helps. And Jeff Bezos got in on the biggest trend of his lifetime, the growth of the internet. And it went from 16 million users to 4.65 billion. And Amazon became like the third biggest company in the world. So he's got a hockey stick rule. Now, I don't know if he invented this, but we'll give him credit for here. If a trend is growing exponentially like a hockey stick, it's worth spending at least 5 hours understanding it. Now, none of us, myself included, wants to spend 5 hours on anything but Elden Ring. Nobody. We don't got time for that. So instead of 5 hours, I'm going to give you like 20 seconds and do a bunch of them. Okay? And that way it should even out, right? instead of spending a lot of time on one, we'll do a bunch and spend very little time on each one so we can make random decisions about the future of our lives. And that way we can all end up like this. Like a shirtless Jeff Bezos on his yacht in 20 to 30 years. Okay? This is peak male performance. So let's start with a trend that's happening right now. I wanted to pick one that's relevant to all of us here, and that is, it's not going to play, is it? That is a picture of Dota. Let's see if I can fix that. And that is and that is, I think this is it. Yeah, it is. Here it is. And that is the rise of esports. In 1998, the biggest prize pool in the world of esports was Quake 2 for $34,000 is their total prize pool. So all in all, for all esports in the world in 98, basically there was less than 70K than what like an accountant might make in Idaho, over a year. That's if you won every tournament in every game. But, we can speed this up. By 2003, there's $3.3 million. Okay, it's already gotten bigger. Counter-Strike became the first game to pass $1 million in prize pool. All of this is highly correlated with viewership. As viewership goes up, the prize pool goes up. Halo 2, Warcraft 3, StarCraft Brood War. Now we're in 2008. Some of you are even starting to be born. Melee, off the list, but was there for a second. StarCraft 2. And then right around here, 2011 is when StarCraft 2 kicked off the beginning of the modern esports era. StarCraft 2 was the first wave to start getting some big publisher attention, and it rapidly goes up the charts. And then, League of Legends! Dota 2! Boom! Dota! Remember, at the beginning, we're talking about $3 million if you won every tournament in every game for years. If you won every tournament in every game ever from the beginning of time through 2003, you would have made $3 million. Now, Dota 2 alone has $153 million by 2018. Fortnite! Amoga! No. And now we're here in 2021, actually 2022, and we have passed I think it's $1 billion in total esports prize earnings. A massive, massive increase, similar to the rapid increase of the rise of the internet. And so if you are somebody interested in the esports industry, whether it's as a player, which is, I think, the worst job to be unless you're absolutely generationally great, analyst, coach, all of the supporting parts of it, commentator, it's a rising industry. It's an industry that's growing year over year. More money, more prize, more viewership. It's something that's increasing in scope. And so there's potential and opportunity where another industry might be declining. And that's sort of the theme of today. Esports going up. Let me show you another one. Maybe you didn't know this. Hopefully I don't have to exit for any more videos. Boom. The cost of sequencing a human genome has dropped dramatically, 100,000% since 2001. It used to cost $100 million to sequence a human's genome. Now you can do it for less than 1,000. As this continues to drop, a lot of things in society are going to be possible that weren't before. Some of them scary. Employers could demand a DNA check and see if you have genes that make you more likely to be, I don't know, an absentee employee, an unreliable employee, et cetera, et cetera. But there's also major health breakthroughs. There's benefits and downsides. And that's the one thing that you're going to see from a lot of what I'm showing you today, the advancements. It's sort of up to the world to determine how these things play out. The technology doesn't really decide whether it ends up good or bad. It's going to happen kind of regardless. And so we have to adapt to it. There will be benefits and there could be downsides of this. And we have to sort of vote and make our wants and needs heard. But that is happening. If you are interested in this field, you are in a growing field, an interesting field. I feel it's going to change things for years to come. Boom. Next, college tuition has outpaced how much people earn by about 10x. So you can see this line, minimum wage, this line, starting salaries. These lines are public and private universities, massively increased while wages have stayed basically flat, which means every single year, universities get more and more expensive. Now, this is obviously a negative thing by any metric, but it also represents opportunity. There has never been a better time for a disruption to education. People are finding new ways to learn. I mean, YouTube's already the first example. People can learn more shit through YouTube than ever going to school. But lots and lots of education-based startups are being funded right now because the gap between what people need to get and the cost of it has never been higher. So if that's something that's interesting you, if you are someone who's interested in disrupting the higher education and finding a way around the university system, there's never been a better time. There's never been a more needed opportunity. Who needs a marketing degree when you have Marketing Monday? Yeah, well, I don't know if an employer will take it. Thanks, though. Here's another one. Cybersecurity is getting more and more and more important. It's an exponential increase because the risk of getting hacked is now incredibly high and the damage is incredibly bad for your company. And so companies are getting more and more scared about cybersecurity, which means somebody who works in cybersecurity or has cybersecurity solutions is getting more and more valuable. This is an industry that's rapidly growing. Every year, someone who knows cybersecurity. I have a friend who graduated from ASU and again, was a pretty bad student, I'll be honest with you. And I'm a bad student, so he's making a mint right now and works like 3 days a week working in cybersecurity. That shit's blowing up. It's doing incredibly well. Companies are desperate for it and they don't understand it. And they need it really bad because so much of what they do is now done digitally and they are holding highly sensitive data that can get hacked. So cyber insurance is, again, exponentially increasing and they want to save that money. So here's an example. This is a browser called Island. It's basically just Chrome. And yet it's worth 1.3 billion. Why is this startup worth 1.3 billion when they just basically ripped Chrome? Because it is an employer-only browser that prevents you from going anywhere you could be hacked and doesn't hold any user data. And they're basically just selling it to corporations who can install it on their computers so their employees can't get hacked. It's a genius idea. They just made a dumbified Chrome so that employees are less likely to get hacked on the job. And they raised $1.3 billion and have a lot of big tech clients, big corporate clients. It's kind of genius. I'm sorry, you can't see the number, 1.3 billion. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. These guys were not particularly genius, okay? They're not the greatest coders of all time. They're just in a growing industry. And being in industries like that is a free cheat code for what you're trying to do. It's a tailwind behind everything you do. Continuing, let's go fast. You're all virgins. The decline in sex is rampant among both men and women, but especially among young men. 28% have reported no sex in the past year between 18 and 30. I guess that includes me too. But this is a serious problem, and it is leading to a lot of negative societal outcomes. And finding ways to get around this, alleviate this, counsel people, give them correct info, and not send them down crazy alt-right rabbit holes is extremely important, because this is a trend that's happening massive right now. I actually have a video on it if you want to watch it. It's called The New Dating Economy. If you want to check it out, I think I have a pretty nuanced take on that. I can't do it all here. But this is absolutely a tailwind for someone interested in working in this industry, or figuring out this problem, or doing deeper research on it, because it is a trend that's not going away. Maidenless. Yeah, I mean, it's happened in Japan, but now it's happening worldwide. And as we approach a demographic cliff almost over the entire world, where the number of babies being born is barely at the replacement level of people dying, it's a scary time. It's a scary time. And as the population rapidly ages after millennials. Next, this one is just kind of scary, but again, there are opportunities and there are bad parts. That is, of course, the rise in the global average surface temperature. Everyone seems to know this, but I think some stats are pretty stark. I think it's, let me see if I can get my exact stat here. I believe it is, sorry, I wrote, it's 19 of the hottest years on record were in the last 20. The hottest years ever in history. 19 of them were in the last 20 years. The number of days above 70 degrees in a city like New York, it was 111. No, I'm sorry. It was, it used to be 70 in the 80s. It's 111 now. It's projected to be 140 in 2050. These are real world rises. Things are just generally getting hotter. And I don't think it's because of our sex appeal. I think it's global average surface temperature. Solar. Now let's counterpoint that though. Some things are rising up to present an opportunity in that. And that is the cost of solar, for example, has dropped by a factor of 10. Solar has gotten cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, rapidly, dramatically. As you can see here, it used to cost way, way more per kilowatt. It is now way, way cheaper and heading lower. There is potential in the world of solar. Future solar costs are projected to be even lower. And they're already, as of 2020, if you're in a low-cost location, like say Arizona, they're already cheaper than currently built fossil power plants. By 2025, even low-cost locations will be cheaper. By 2030, even medium-cost locations will be cheaper. And then by 2036, even very high-cost locations where there's not much sunlight will still be cheaper to have solar power plants than fossil power. Now, is this fast enough? I'm not sure, but it presents opportunity. If you're interested in working in the field of alternate energy, solar, wind, nuclear, there's massive opportunity. They're all growing dramatically, and the impacts of fossil fuels are being felt by governments and corporations everywhere. The price of batteries has fallen exponentially, similar to Jeff Bezos' internet stat. This is the price of a battery in 1991, $7,500. This is it now, $181 for the same amount of kilowatts. Dramatically cheaper. And in fact, this has led to many opportunities if you're interested in battery technology. Battery maker CATL is a company that is actually the biggest company after 10 years ever, or the fastest growing company after 10 years ever in the history of companies. It's bigger than Stripe, Facebook, AWS, Amazon, and Google after 10 years. It is literally the fastest growing company ever. Only Google had higher revenues at the same age, and it wasn't growing nearly as fast. So, and this company is an absolute unicorn, growing fantastically well. And it's never talked about. Don't talk about it, but it's actually, this technology is extremely important. Batteries are more and more important every year. People that know a lot about battery technology are extremely valuable. In fact, China is making massive investments in being the one that supplies and builds batteries because of how important it is for the global supply chain in the future. What is Stripe? It's a payments company. It's a payments company that, like, you know, like when you're checking out at some stores and they'll have like the little white thing and you can swipe it. It's a kind of a genius payments company that made it easy for the average mom and pop shop to take digital payments. Smart idea. Here's one that is relevant to me specifically. People are sleeping worse than ever before. This is exponentially decreasing. In 1942, over 8 hours of sleep was the average norm across the entire country. People used to always get 8.5 plus. And now they're getting closer to 6. The average person, people are sleeping worse with worse quality. It's not just me, it turns out, because I've been feeling really stressed by this myself. And so, sleep aids are at all-time high in valuation. The interest, this is the Google search interest for sleep and sleep aids, is at all-time highs compared to 2004. People are desperate for solutions for their bad sleep. They want to sleep longer, they want to sleep better. Mattress companies are springing up left and right. Pillow companies, sleep aids, meditation apps, all that stuff is climbing. If you are somebody who thinks to have a solution for people's bad sleep, you are in a growing industry, something that's going to be very important for years to come. Do your part and stream earlier. It's kind of, yeah, I mean, I'm not helping any of my East Coast viewers right now because this is way, way too late for them. My UK folks are completely screwed. But what can I do? Hopefully you guys still get a full 8 hours. I don't know when you got to wake up. But it's a growing industry. Here's another one. Electronics as a percentage of total car costs. This might not seem like an interesting stat, but it is. In 1970, the majority of a car was non-electronic. Basically, you built it out of aluminum and steel and bolts, and you had a little bit of wiring in there, and that's it. Now, 50% of a car, actually 35% of a car, about 40 in the middle, but by 2030, about half of the car is going to be electronics. And what that means is people that design for the future of cars are primarily going to be more and more oriented around the tech rather than design. And that is why you might see this. The Apple car is almost all but confirmed. This is not what it'll look like, I don't think, but based on leaks from Apple, they are 100% looking to create their own car because the future of cars is in some way self-driving and 100% where people will spend a lot of time basically using apps, using apps and using technology. And people that design apps, I mean, there's so many opportunities in this. You know, when the smartphone was first released, the first people that made the simplest apps like Fruit Ninja made absolute billions. Whoever designs a great app for commuting is going to make billions. People are going to have a lot more time over the next 20 years, and they're going to spend a lot of it in their cars. And these are investments that will be extremely important. They seem crazy now, as the internet seemed crazy in 1984, but this is a trend that's rapidly growing. Speaking of which, commutes are at all-time highs. This ties right into that. Commutes are at all-time highs. This had a slight alleviation during the pandemic, but as people go back to work, this trend has continued. People used to live a lot closer to work, but as the rising rents and rising costs for people to live farther and farther from where they work, two trends are becoming massive. One is remote work among corporations that can afford it because they don't want to, workers don't want to do this. And then others is very long commutes. And ways to alleviate or get around this are going to be extremely important. People who come up with solutions to this or think about these problems are going to be extremely valuable over the next 20 years. My work is 80 miles away. What the how long is your commute? You have an 80-mile commute? I mean, the great solution would be infrastructure, hopefully, but the Build Back Better plan got completely canned, and that wasn't even going far enough. I mean, in America, we need public rail. We need a lot of things, but we have no ability to invest in it or agree on anything. Yeah, I mean, some countries have handled this well with great public infrastructure. It's a great way to reduce commutes and let people live farther away and still get to the cities on time. We don't have that in America, so hopefully we'll find a different solution, like our Apple cars or something. Instead of public rail, we rail the public. That's very clever. You should make a sign. Here it is. So during the work from home sort of quote unquote revolution has led to 62.4 million fewer commuting hours per workday during the pandemic. That's an aggregate time of more than 9 billion hours from work from home. People literally are getting massive portions of their life and day back because of work from home. And they are not going to want to give that up without a fight, which means remote work stuff is here to stay, at least for some portion of the public, permanently. There's just no way they're going to be kicking and screaming back to the office because of how much additional time they receive with their family, friends, kids, etc. And so, people that think about that, think about solutions for that world, are also going to be in extreme demand. Here's a really interesting one that I didn't know about. Lab-grown meat has become extremely affordable. It used to cost $7,000+ to make a kilogram of cell-based shrimp. You can now make that for $37. By 2026, it'll be as low as $4. Now, there's a lot of work to be done, I'm sure, on taste, but eventually they'll be able to create sustainable lab-grown meat at massive scale. And if they can solve the taste issue, it's actually a massive benefit to the environment. Because this is not just for shrimp. Shrimp is the example I have here, but it also applies to chicken, beef, poultry, everything. It's extremely sustainable, and as progress is made, I mean, I know that, I've had a few iterations of that Beyond over the years, and while I haven't really liked any of them, they have absolutely gotten better. From the first one I had back in 2014 to one I had more recently. And I think if they continue to make progress and tweak and subtly make improvements, the benefits are fantastic. And so, a huge amount of our methane emissions come from cows. It's like over a third. It's more than all of us, all of like human caused, day-to-day life, not vehicle, but day-to-day life emissions. It's exceeded by just cow farts. And so finding ways to do lab-grown meat is actually going to be a fantastic solution for a populace that will not go vegetarian. I think trying to imply that everyone's going to go vegetarian is absurd. Nobody wants to be like Nathan Stans. Nobody wants to do it. All right. So it's not going to happen. And so finding a way to make meat sustainable is like the best solution for this part of environment. And I think people that are investing in this and people that have knowledge in this are going to be extremely valuable. Speaking of this, I talked about this earlier with the virginity thing, but actually, in fact, fertility is dropping dramatically. People are literally just having fewer children in basically the entire developed world. And it's leading to a massive demographic crisis. Usually, to be a healthy economy and a nation, you need to have a lot more healthy working age people than you do old people, which we barely have right now because millennials are a massive generation. As millennials begin to age, the demographic stuff is falling off a cliff. And we're going to enter a realm where there's a lot of old people and not enough people working age to support them. And so people that have solutions and innovations around that will be extremely valuable. One of which is just open up to immigration. This is a pure nation-based thing, but it's absolutely insane to me that people think that closing off immigration will benefit the country we're in at all. It, in fact, is extremely damaging to the economy. It basically reduces the number of business founded, reduces the number of jobs created. It's just extremely, extremely short-sighted. And for the rare countries that actually have immigrants that want to show up, which is like the United States, it's basically a free cheat code to beat these demographic cliffs. And we're not using it. And it's actually crazy. And this applies to both Trump and Biden. Trump introduced a lot of extreme lockdowns on immigration, and Biden has continued them. He hasn't changed anything about them. And they are, there's recent census data that I saw today that was like, we're basically at like a zero net replacement right now. It's like people are dying almost as fast as they're being born or immigrating in. It's like the lowest immigration ever, and we're having the highest deaths ever. So we're actually literally having an extremely negative, warped future for our demographics. So it's dangerous. So just keep that in mind economically. Here is a stat that backs that up. This is the number of people that are age 65 and over. If you think we have a lot of boomers now, wait till 2060. Wait till I'm actually a boomer, not just a Twitch boomer. Okay? Wait till I'm going to be so annoying. I'm going to be so annoying. I'm going to have so much money. I'm going to be so annoying. I'm going to be causing so many problems. And you're really going to want to kill me then. This is a real problem. The largest age cohort right now is 30-year-olds. 30-year-old millennials is the largest age cohort in America right now. And by 2060 or 2050, I mean, they're all going to be 60, 65. And it's a real problem if there's no replacement. If it just It's a demographic cliff, and it's caused big problems in other countries that have experienced it. Japan is one example. So yeah, me and Ari will try and have some kids. We'll do our part. Even though, I think sex is gross because I'm a gamer. Here is some good news. The drop in global absolute poverty is massive. The number of people living at these level 1 and level 2 incomes will drop dramatically over the next 20 years, as it's been an ongoing trend. Generally, the global population is rising out of poverty. That is a true stat that has been going on for a long time. The number of people living on dollars per day is decreasing. Now, as they enter into a global middle or lower class, we still have a vast majority of wealth being sucked up by a very minuscule amount of people at the top. But we are eliminating the most extremes of poverty. And that is truth, and it's something to be celebrated, and it's very interesting. And businesses that target these new global, you can call it a global middle class. It's not necessarily like a middle class as we think of it, but will be profitable and have a lot of new customers and a lot of people that serve that are entering in the global economy. They'll need banking. They'll need a variety of services that they haven't had. There's plenty of startups that have been founded in like South America and Africa to help bank the unbanked and are doing extremely well. This is adjusted for inflation, but this isn't just for inflation. This is adjusted for inflation, so you guys don't think it's just inflation. They're actually leaving global poverty. The purchasing power is going up. As again, the vast majority of people will be in Asia. If you guys notice here, the red is Asia, the blue is Africa, yellow is Europe, and green is North and South America combined. And again, that's a very small part of the global population, which will be, vast majority in Asia. None of Africa, it looks like, is getting to level 4, which is still not good. Phone use is going up dramatically. I think you guys all are aware of this because you see my comments on YouTube where I say, remember this, when no one had their phones. I'm the guy that goes on every old song and I post. I go to old concert footage and I post, man, this is back when real music existed and no one had the phone. No. On average, we pick up our phones 58 times per day, and it's increasing. About 3 hours, 50 minutes a day on our phones, which is a trend that has been acceleratingly increasing over the past 15 to 20 years. I think we all know this one intuitively. Anything built for mobile use is seeing dramatic tailwinds. It's doing quite well. So that's it's app developers, to phone cases, to anything that helps or benefits the smartphone-based economy. People that make content built for mobile, content companies that are building vertical video, that's for things like TikTok. All that stuff is growing and is seeing a lot of money and tailwinds. And things that are built for traditional TV and traditional media are declining because we're spending less and less of our time watching those. Quibi, bad example. Quibi, bad example. I mean, we talked about it, but basically they didn't allow you to use your phone while you used it, which is not good for our attention spans. Quibi, actually idiotic. Literally took over your whole phone so you can watch Chance the Rapper punk someone. Boom. Space. Some of the stats we've talked about today are a little bit otherworldly. This one is literally otherworldly. The cost to launch something into space has gone down 10x, and it's continuing to decline. It is extremely feasible that within our lifetimes, space travel and space-based mineral mining or transportation will be extremely more feasible as costs continue to increase. Now, we're still, pretty far away, but people that are interested in this future will see a lot of potential and benefit over the next 20, 30 years, especially as we continue to destroy the planet we're currently on. Jeff Bezos will pay you to find him a new planet that he can turn into warehouses. That is a guarantee. This one is AI. This is AI, and this was one of the scariest ones, the one that I understand probably the least. I am trying to do a deeper amount of research into it. to figure out what the actual impact will be. But the depth and number of parameters in these AI models has increased exponentially, actually even faster than, Moore's law, and it is going to lead to all sorts of things. This is probably the biggest impact and the one that I'm least comfortable predicting. All I know is that AI is a massive, massive force that is going to change so many things in our lives. The ability of computers to use high-powered neural networks to solve things that humans were able to do, but slowly, or not able to do at all, extremely quickly and at scale, is going to change so many industries. I'm not even comfortable predicting it. But it's happening quickly and fast, and it's something that, listen, if you're looking for a job, if this is just you looking for something, if you're like, I don't know what to do, if you learn about AI, you will make money. I know that from just being at NVIDIA. I know that people that do AI research are the highest paid. They can make $1 million plus in salary. Big companies are paying absolutely ludicrous amounts for AI. AI is extremely, extremely important to all of the big tech companies in the world, and it's going to make a major impact and worth looking into. 2 eras of compute usage. Oh, this is the same thing. This is basically AI training systems were growing at this rate, and then since 2010 have been growing at a massively 10x per year accelerated rate. You can't really see it. Things like AlphaGo, Tesla's Autopilot, just massive increases, and this is just scaling up even more. And as AI continues to evolve, this could scale up even faster. It's something you can't even predict because it's happening so quickly. And it's one of the most exciting and scariest things. It has potential to be like a complete unlock of resources for humanity to enjoy a golden age of prosperity, and it has the potential to be a dystopia. And we really don't have any idea which way it's going to go. AI is the biggest change that can happen within our lifetimes. This one is relevant to us right here, right now. And this one actually had Kevin Mason poll. This is media use. And it turns out that the average adult, or child in your case, is watching a lot more digital media than traditional television. Television is dying. And this includes all adults. If you go by age, this orange bar is in the gutter. People your age aren't watching TV at all. TV Omega Lol. And they're watching Twitch, which they're watching right now. This is all ages. This includes like 60-year-olds. Even amongst all ages, TV is now dead. It is rapidly decreasing. Cable companies are seeing their revenues get slashed year over year, even with sports, and which is the last thing keeping cable companies alive, by the way, sports. Places like Twitch are seeing massive growth. And so people that are creators for the digital economy, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, etc., are all seeing massive free growth. It's like every creator on Twitch did not get better when the pandemic happened, but they got richer. You know what I'm saying? Because people watched more Twitch. They didn't do anything better. Okay, Ludwig didn't suddenly start streaming better, but he got double his viewership because every single person got on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? If you have a tailwind at your back, everything you're doing just gets better rewards. And so people in the digital media economy are seeing massive success. Twitch is not the same league as YouTube and TikTok. No, it's not, but it's still massive. It's just still growing rapidly. No, I wasn't shot at Ludwig. I'm just saying. It was an example you guys know. Every creator on Twitch did not suddenly change their content. They got massive growth. And so people that are involved in this are seeing growth. I think Twitch is a great example, just because they've done a lot of things wrong and it doesn't really matter. People are just watching more of this content, so they're growing no matter what. Twitch has made dumb decision after dumb decision, but everything keeps going up. You know what I'm saying? If you have a tailwind, it's hard to fuck up. Total creators. This is the same thing. The number of online digital creators who make actual money from what they do is at all-time highs, and it's growing exponentially. The future of work looks way more decentralized. Many more people are going to be making money through online creation or talking about things they're interested in, or tutorials, or this could be online learning platforms. This could be coaching. This could be anything. This is all just digital creating using this could be Etsy. Just ways to find customers online and make a business is growing dramatically. And that leads you to me because I'm riding those tailwinds right now. I work at NVIDIA and I'm creating. And that is why I hope you liked this Marketing Monday. Woo! 25 plus trends that are changing the world. I hope you found that interesting. I hope you thought that was something worth talking about. And if you're interested, why don't you help out Jeff Bezos a little bit? He can't afford a shirt. And see if you have a Twitch Prime. Like Shy Omen here. And Rafika Fuku, thank you for the Prime. Carson Melliott, thank you for the Tier 1 for 11 months. Lord Sean, thank you for the Prime. Gold Bomber, thank you for the Prime. Silver September, thank you for the Prime. Patty Cake, thank you for the Prime. Swooneth Key, Zoa, Dr. Controversy, Broke Med Student, thank you for the Prime. You're a Broke Med Student. And yet you still give me your Amazon Prime. I really appreciate that. Kev Dog Man Bear, thank you for the Prime. Look at Knee, thank you for the Prime. Govi, thank you for the Prime. Ecam, thank you for the Prime. Cat Puppy, Knew These Nuts. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Oh, if you're a student in university, you can get 6 months of Prime for free. That's great. Universities are worth it now. Who cares that the cost has gone up 1,000x in 10 years? You can get 6 months of Prime for free. The Geese, thank you for the 9 months. Natsuchi, thank you for the 2 months. Leroy is cool, thank you for the 4. Ninja, thank you for the gifted. Max Unruly, thank you for the 9. Alpha Hawk, thank you for the 13. Sir Amex with the Prime. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed. I thought that was really interesting. I did a lot of research on all that stuff, and I found it to be kind of crazy. Some of it was very positive. It got me excited about something, especially in alternative energies. Sponsor, of course. Sponsor. And that's why I want to talk about the company that helped make all of this possible. By the way, even if you're not going to work in any one of those industries, you can still see price appreciation and value appreciation by investing in those industries. That's one of the best ways to get involved in something that you don't necessarily want to work in. And that's why I want to shout out today's sponsor and a longtime Marketing Monday sponsor, Public.com. Public.com. Let me talk about Public real quick, which is a investment app. It is similar to an investment app you may know. It has an extremely clean, easy to use interface. What makes it different is that it does not sell information on your trades to hedge funds, which is what the one that most people know does, which is an amoral business model. This one is the same functionality, the same cleanliness. I use it every morning, check my stocks. Without that, it just invests unspent cash and earns a small percent return, which is a way more business model. You can find that. That's been independently verified. You can look it up. I looked it up myself before accepting sponsorship. They also allow you to invest in fractional shares. So if you don't want to buy a $3,300 share of Amazon, you can buy partial amounts of a share for up to however much you want to spend. So you don't feel like you have to spend more than you have. You can also invest very small amounts and just test your investment skill, which is a great way to just practice. You can also follow people. You can follow me on that app and see what I'm investing in. You can follow many other creators or business people. Hopefully you can follow Nancy Pelosi because she seems to get all her trades right. And most importantly, if you sign up using my code in the link below, go to public.com/Atrioc. I'll find it right here. You can get up to $300 in free stock. I myself got a share of Facebook that then became Meta and then declined 50%, but it was free. So I still made like $150. And so feel free to check that out. You can get a free stock by using my code. It's a very cool app. I recommend it. They've been very supportive of Marketing Monday, and I do appreciate it. I think that's that. That's the fractional shares and the. Oh, also, if you want to transfer any of your current stocks or money from like a bank to this app, sometimes there's fees from other companies. They will pay the fees. They have zero fees on anything, and if there's a fee from like your Wells Fargo, if you want to transfer something, they will pay that fee for you. They cover everything, which I found to be pretty cool as someone who has fees from my Schwab account. So check it out. It is America only, I believe, for now. So if you are one of my EU frogs, unfortunately, I don't think you can use it. That's my last opinion. So thank you for watching Marketing Monday. That's it. I've been talking for a while. Big Buff Bible Man, thank you for the Prime. Quigley, thank you for the Tier 1. Seguino, thank you for the 3 months. It's 9:30, and I still have some time. I was thinking maybe we could watch a Shark Tank. Maybe we could watch a Shark Tank. Or I could play Elden Ring. I have to figure out which one I want to do. But I think a Monday into a Shark Tank seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. So I think I will do that. I think I will do a Shark Tank. But I'm going to need a little bit of a break. I'm going to need to get some water. And then we'll knock out a Shark Tank. Thank you guys for enjoying Marketing Monday. I had a good time. Yeah, Sabrina, thank you for 3 months. Yeah, thank you. Alpha Hawk, Sir Amex, Cat Puppy. Yeah, I'll put on the keys for you guys. You know what? I'm going to get some water. We'll put on the keys. And then I'm going to end stream and go live again. Maybe we'll watch something else. We have a little bit of time, and then I'll watch. All right, let me get some water. Enjoy. Woo! Woo! He's still jangling them. Holy moly. This is awesome. Okay. I do love those keys. Chat, we are now going to go offline and come back live for some Shark Tank. Oh, I did want to recommend one more thing while you're here. I got a book. I just finished that other book about the Depression. It was pretty good. I wouldn't... listen, it might be helpful as we enter a possible global depression. It was pretty interesting. But I want to shout out a book real quick, if you're interested at all. And if not, don't worry, because I'll do a Marketing Monday on it, because I found it really interesting. It's called Red Carpet, and it's basically about China and Hollywood and the relationship they have, where Hollywood needs China for money, and China, you know, Chinese consumers want Hollywood movies. Chinese government wants to have their own Hollywood. And so it's a very fascinating book. If you're interested in it, please check it out. It's actually it's a pretty easy read, and it's funny. It's got a really fun story about Kung Fu Panda that I enjoyed, and I'm going to do a Marketing Monday on it. So if you don't want to read, just wait for the YouTube video. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Shark, we are all Zoomers. Do you think any of us are interested in reading books when we could be playing Among Us? You're so right. You know, reading is kind of like Among Us, though, when you think about it. This is me. We flipped the chair around. What's up, kids? I'm the cool teacher. You know what reading's kind of like? Among Us. You know who was the original Sussy Baka? Shakespeare. Let's get into it. All right. I'm going off. On that note, I'm going offline. I'll come back online here in just a minute, and we're going to watch Shark Tank if you're interested. If not, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.